Yes, we are proud and free. Welcome to Three Conservative Gimps. We've got a great show for you tonight. Hey, we're still working. You know why? Because we're not shutting down. The government might shut down, but we keep going because we are proud and free and we stand as one. So let's get this show going. Let's welcome all the way from Muskogee, Oklahoma, the ever applicable and let's go welcome Lloyd Mendenhall. Let's uh, press the button, and
You
there
got
we
it.
go.
You got it, did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
got it. Squirrely mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome.
I thought you got
How
a new mouse.
I did. Yeah, sometimes
It-
it
it-
adds up.
yeah. Yeah. I'm doing
How's the
good. I'm
weather?
good. It was a little warm today, I'll say that much, but it's we got a couple of days of warm weather coming on and then hopefully it'll get back to fall, but we're having an Indian summer, I guess you'd call it. Uh,
Right.
but I mean it wasn't too bad. It's sunny out, today was just a lazy day. Yeah, it's 81 degrees now, so it's almost 90 today. So,
Wow.
yeah. And I think yesterday we were 90. I got out yesterday and holy crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely toasty yesterday. So, but
Well, we
yeah.
had another nice day today, a lovely day today, and I went apartment shopping today, and I saw this apartment. I'm like, oh, I love this place, but the price was too
But the
high.
price was too high. Yeah.
Yeah, because it had elevators, so I wouldn't have to deal with stairs, and it had parking garage, which is really nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it had a. I mean, it's just really, really nice. I just wish it was about $200 or $300 cheaper. It'd be perfect. All right, let's welcome all the way from the blue state of New York, the where the governor is not hopeful, but she is hopeful. Let's welcome Charles Gillespie.
Hey Art, hey Lloyd, everybody in the
Oh,
chat.
howdy, howdy.
Duty duty.
Lloyd was a little worried because I was a little late, but I sold a laptop before the show.
Yeah.
So
Money comes before politics. I will
no,
agree with that.
that is correct. So, and we got a good group already. We got Ronnie, God bless America. We got Brian, Waypoint, New England. Welcome, welcome. They'll start rolling. Oh, we got Giggles. Hey, TJ, good to see
DJ.
you. Good to see you. Ah, so we've got a government shutdown. And,
Seem.
pardon?
I said, so it would seem.
Yes. And I haven't noticed anything. Did you get your check, Lloyd?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
your check come in the mail? There you go. That didn't stop.
The only thing I got an email today from the Veterans Administration that said I don't know it was one of the phone banks wasn't going to be working. I think it was to
Right.
get benefits or stuff, but they still got the crisis hotlines working. You can still
Hmm.
go to the ER for emergencies.
Right. Hmm.
Uh, you know, and we got the VA got paid, and I suppose tomorrow I'll get my Social Security check. So for me, everything's rocking along fine. My bank was
Right.
open. I didn't have to worry about that. So yeah,
Right.
uh, but no, it didn't affect me.
That's good. Didn't affect me either. I don't think anybody's really noticed anything other than the people that got laid off or furloughed. Who
Yeah.
knows how long this is going to last?
Well, yeah. It's ridiculous. Uh, I think the only thing we can say about it is it is fun to watch the meme wars going on, but
Yes. I like the sombreros and the
oh,
mustache.
he's been playing that.
Oh,
He's been playing mariachi music in the White House for anybody who
oh,
walks in and out
man.
of it. Yeah, he's putting up some great memes. Like there's one that they took the sombrero off of Hakeem Jeffries and took the mustache off, and they put the mustache on Trump and the sombrero on Trump. And then they have 5 Trumps playing trumpets, playing uh, 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 you know
mariachi music.
mariachi music. Yeah,
Hmm.
all
Good.
surrounding, all of them surrounding. Uh, there's 5 or 6 Trumps in there, all surrounding Hakeem Jeffries as he's standing out there talking about how racist it is and all that stuff. And,
Oh, yeah. How
well,
racist.
he's even trying to get into it. And of course, he's an amateur at it because he hasn't been doing it that long. But he
Hmm.
says something about something dinero. So he's trying to get into the using the a different term instead of dollar, something like stingy dinero. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Stingy De
yeah.
Niro.
It says there's stingy
Not
dineros.
Robert De Niro, but
Yeah,
the money De
yeah,
Niro.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Dinero. Yeah, yeah.
And
Which actually would be a peso anyways if it was
yep,
dinero is Italian if I'm not mistaken.
you're right. You're right. And what
He's not
caused
even
this?
he's not even a good racist.
Yeah. And what caused this shutdown?
Because they're wanting to roll back from the big beautiful bill when they took all of the COVID era emergency things for healthcare, which was helping pay for illegal immigrants. They
Oh,
they in the healthcare bill that was, or not the healthcare bill, but the big beautiful bill that was passed, they took people that can work and make a living or could buy insurance where they work or whatever, those people that are not eligible for Medicaid, as well as illegal immigrants or illegal aliens, as I like to call them,
mhm.
uh,
Uh,
they cannot get health care under the big beautiful bill. Well,
right.
and it got passed. Everybody passed it. They weren't happy with it, but it got passed. Now they're trying to roll that back. This is the same continuing resolution that was
Hmm.
passed 6 months ago. And this is
Right.
only for 7 weeks while the arbitrators work on uh, getting everything passed for the budget out of arbitration. It's just to hold off till November, which is when they're going to finalize the next appropriations budget.
Right.
And this is the same one. And of course, there is the argument that it's not the same because they pulled all of the health care for the uh, illegal immigrants and the health care for those who can work and get a job and choose not to. They just want to live on welfare.
Right.
Uh, that was pulled out in the big beautiful bill, but that bill was passed and signed into law. Now they're using this as a way. They're holding the country hostage or at gunpoint, trying to get them to put back in the
Hmm.
thing that this president was elected for, and they've got a big misunderstanding on their plates.
Yes. Big misunderstanding.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's
Hmm.
not going to happen.
And how much would this add to our deficit?
1.3 trillion, is that what I
One,
understood?
yeah, you're close. It could be that. I've heard 1.5 trillion
Okay,
dollars.
1.5. I knew it was between 1.3 and 1.5 is what I've heard. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Hmm.
and that's how much it will add to the continuing resolution, which is
Right.
simply just a stopgap to let the arbitration finish the negotiation to pass the final bill that will go through the House
Right.
and the Senate. And the
Right.
only reason Chuck Schumer is doing this is simply because he caught a lot of flack the last time for
Right.
passing that, and he's scared he's going to be primaried by AOC.
Right.
AOC is buddying up with Bernie, and they're holding hands in the park and talking about
Yes.
how
Hmm.
wonderful life is and blah blah
Right.
blah. So
Hmm.
there's probably some, you know, but thought it was. Oh, the other thing is, I just watched this. The other thing is they're talking about, well, they're not even in session. Why isn't the Speaker of the House and all these people here in Congress? There's nobody from the and as the Speaker just said, I just saw it a few minutes ago. That's because we did our part.
Yeah.
We passed the bill in the House. Now, if there's not senators there, that's a different story. But you're talking about, these people are belly aching because the House is not in session right now because they already passed it. There's nothing more for them to do.
Right.
The only thing that's got to be done now is for the Senate to vote, and there's going to be some, there's going to be some blood spilled on this one.
I agree, and
Since the Democrats are going to get a really bloody nose out of this.
It's not a good look for the Democrat Party in general. So they're just digging themselves a deeper and deeper hole, and we got the odd year elections coming up, and that's usually for municipalities, and that's where we get our mayoral and city council races and what else? Oh, bonds and bills and all that neat stuff.
Yeah, it's Vance has promised to stop the memes as soon as the Hakeem can convince Schumer to and there again, Hakeem is the minority House leader.
Yeah.
And he's the Democratic leader in the House.
Right.
He doesn't have any pull on the Senate other than to get AOC to shut the hell up. And if Hakeem was a real leader, he would be getting onto her right now, but he's not.
Nope.
He's nothing like Nancy Pelosi was, and I dislike Nancy Pelosi. With all my heart, but she did know how to lead her party.
Right.
She was strong in that, and I thought if she's going to still be there, she shouldn't have stepped away from that and threw her support behind. I don't think he's the right guy for the job. I think he's a little too mealy mouthed.
Yeah, too loosey and goosey.
He's a little wimpy when it comes down.
No,
but then that's what the Democrats like is wimpy men. So
that's right, Lloyd.
Yeah, that's right. I know.
Well, that's because they've emasculated men.
Exactly.
It's gotten to a point where even the men in their own party can't even, they couldn't slap their way out of a fight.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. It's a sad thing. That's what their purpose has been for the last 40 years is to eventually, actually probably coming out of the 70s, the sexual revolution, which unfortunately was just about over by the time I was old enough to enjoy it. So
yeah, same here. What did I do? Oh, I got into comedy. Yeah, there you go.
I was in the service by then, but anyways, the whole thing is they've been trying to tear down. Actually, they've been trying to tear down this republic. The Democrats have since the McCarthy era. This goes back to, and McCarthy had a point. He knew what was going on. His way of handling it was wrong.
Right.
But his purpose and his ideals were correct. His thoughts were, and that was that we had a big communist influx. And the funny thing is the socialists and the communists, they've been around since before the turn of the last century.
They started in the late 19th century.
Yeah, yeah, late
Mhm.
in the 1890s,
Yep. Hmm.
1880s, 1890s, and we had a guy, and I think it's 19. Was it let's see, 1920? Yeah, I think it was 1920. A guy who ran and actually pulled. He ran as a national socialist or as a
Oh,
socialist. And he ran from prison. He was in prison on
right.
some sort of, and he actually pulled votes. He actually was able to,
Yep.
he actually got some electoral votes. One of the few third party candidates that's ever gotten any electoral votes, and that was Eugene V. Debs.
Yep. Hmm.
And I only
And,
know that 'cause that's my middle name. It's not Eugene.
yeah.
My grandfather was a
Name
so
dropper.
yeah, my grandfather was a socialist, and he named my dad.
Uh,
He named my gave my dad's middle name after Eugene V. Debs, and
mhm.
yeah, and then I got
Good.
stuck with it. Yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got stuck with Lewis, which was my great uncle's first name.
I'd
Lewis
rather have
Charles. Yeah.
Lloyd Lewis Monroe. That has a nice. I wouldn't mind Lewis.
Yep.
You know,
Arthur Lewis Carlson. Yep.
yeah. And
And
eventually, you got. I mean, when you grew up, you finally got to run a radio station and do all that.
hmm
Now, when
yep.
did you actually live in Cincinnati? I don't remember when that was.
I've driven through Cincinnati several
Oh,
times.
okay.
Yeah. It's a nice town. Never got a chance to perform there. The closest I've been would be
Oh,
Dayton, Ohio.
that would have been really funny to if you performed at Cincinnati. You would have
Yeah.
Arthur Carlson. Are you kidding? There's an art. Yeah.
Yeah.
You may have actually gotten some people
Mhm.
coming in just to see you because of your name.
Yeah. No, is that the fat guy from WKP?
Yeah,
Hey, who's this little shrimp? What
yeah.
the
See
hell?
what you shrink with age. That's what they say.
Yeah, that's right. Hmm.
Although you may have shrunk a little further than most, but
Yeah, probably. So also in the news, Trump has offered Iran and Hamas to join the Abraham Accords. And yeah, like we didn't know how that was going to come out. So, and he gave a deadline, and I guess Hamas is saying no to a peace deal. And looks like Israel may have to go in and uh, take care of business. And it's not looking good for remaining hostages if they're still alive, which is
yeah,
highly doubtful. Yeah.
yeah. I kind of doubt it. They probably knew when that deal was offered. They figured, well, we're going to lose anyway, so they just probably
Right.
killed them all then. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and
And,
that's too bad. They were offered an opportunity that was a very good opportunity, and
mhm.
they chose, not to, you know, and it's going to take the utter destruction of Hamas. I mean,
Right.
because Iran, they're kind of right now they're pretty well depleted because all of their proxies, at least part of their proxies, Hezbollah, well, they've been pretty well decimated. So
Yeah.
all we
Hmm.
got left is Hamas, and it looks like they're getting ready to finally get their clocks
And
completely.
don't forget the Houthis.
Yeah, the Houthis will probably be the next one to get
Yeah. Well,
bombed.
they're already gone because
Well, that's right. We
they
bombed
just
the hell out of
bombed.
them.
Yeah, they wiped out their whole cabinet there in
Yeah.
one strike. Yep.
It was
Mhm.
that they were now were the Houthis in
Yemen.
Yemen? Okay, Yemen.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And so,
And didn't we just kill some people in another, like, was it in Dubai or
oh yes, it was. Yeah, that was leaders of Hamas that were
leaders of
killed.
Hamas? Yeah. So they're
Yeah.
leaderless now. So hell,
Yeah.
they probably don't have anybody who knew how to negotiate a damn peace treaty anyway. So
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about Hamas, leadership. Living it high on the hog in Qatar instead of
right,
in Gaza.
yeah,
So, and this is what kills me about people like that and socialists and communists, that there's always somebody that's living way better than the masses. And I always thought socialism, I thought everybody was supposed to be equal. Oh, except they're more equal than others.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, and that is the problem. That's
Mm-hmm.
the failure
Mm-hmm.
of socialism and communism, and
Right.
but I mean, it's really no different than right. The communism ended up not being any different than what they had under the czars.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Is exactly the same. They still were poor. They still were downtrodden. They still were being executed for whatever reasons. That's where
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
what did they call them? Under the czars,
The Cossacks.
Cossacks. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cossacks just became the secret police. You know,
Yes, that's right.
KG Cossacks turned into the KGB.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was the NKVD, which was run by Beria,
Oh,
and when Stalin died, there was a power vacuum,
right,
and he was poised to. He was thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm going to take over," and that's when Khrushchev, you know,
right.
brought in all these charges, and a lot of them were true. Sexually abusing
Oh yeah,
young women and girls,
yeah,
and torturing them. And oh boy, he was a pretty bad guy. And
yeah,
so they executed him. So Khrushchev ended up taking over. Melenkov, he got pushed to the side and retired and lived in his dacha, and Zukov, he got to be you know head general for a while, at least until he retired. Yeah,
yeah. Who was after Khrushchev?
that would be Brezhnev.
Brezhnev. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yep.
Now Khrushchev, he retired, but he didn't die or wasn't executed.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he was forced
Forced
retirement.
out. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
forced retirement.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he was voted out of the position of the head of
Right.
the chairman of the Politburo. Yeah, so
Right. And Brezhnev took over, and he took over. I think his reign was the longest reign of any of the communist leaders there. And then when he passed away, there were two guys. They didn't last very long at all. There was Chernyenko and Andropov, and they
yeah,
just one only lasted a few weeks, and the other guy lasted. I don't even think he made it through the year, and then he
yeah.
passed away, and that's when Gorbachev
Gorbachev.
took over.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Gorbachev was the last leader of the Soviet Union.
Yep, that's right. Hmm.
But yeah, it's yeah. So I think this deal with Hamas, you know, it was just he was Trump was trying to do the right thing,
Right.
but he
Hmm.
also told him, he says, if you don't take this, you know, Israel's got carte blanche. They got our full support to do what they got to do.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
And speaking of support, it looks like Zelensky's got Trump support now, because Putin didn't. He has no desire to have a peace treaty,
yeah,
because
yeah,
he's hell bent on taking all of the Ukraine.
yeah. He wants all of the Ukraine now, not just
Yep. Hmm.
Crimea. He wants it all. So
Yep.
I think, yeah, I think he's overplayed his hands there in Russia. I
Hmm.
think because right now yeah, they've been hitting some major strikes, but I have an idea that once the arms and stuff start flowing uh, to Zelensky,
Yeah.
which I don't
Mm.
trust Zelensky any more than I do Putin. As far as I'm
Right.
concerned, they're uh, two different sides of the same coin.
Right. Hmm.
I think Zelensky is just as, yeah. First off, no offense, but he was a stand-up comedian before he became
Yes,
the
that's
leader of the
right.
country,
That's true.
and
Hmm.
uh, something about that just doesn't ring right. It's just, you know,
Yeah.
because I mean,
And
I would, no offense, but I wouldn't even want Jeff Dunham to be president of the United
yeah.
States,
Hmm.
or uh, yeah, who else? He's the only one that comes to mind at the moment. Well,
Yeah.
maybe you
Jeff
would do it.
Foxworthy or
Jeff Foxworthy, yeah, there you go,
Yeah.
or
Jeff Fox.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Ron White.
Hmm.
Yeah, the rednecks of comedy.
Yeah, yeah, the rednecks
Respect
of
them
comedy.
all, respect them and love them all as
Bill,
comedians, but
yeah,
Hmm.
Bill
you'd have
Engvall.
some real questions if they ran for office.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You're right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Same goes with Zelensky, and
Right.
uh, well, we'll
So,
see.
so
Have
who's
they quit his? Has the Russia quit flying into the other
Poland?
countries? Yeah,
Oh, Poland and the Baltics. Yeah. As far as I know, they haven't made any further
yeah. Ever since
incursions.
Trump said they could
Yeah.
go ahead and shoot him down. Yeah,
Yep. Hmm.
yeah. I
Yep.
think he's like, ooh, crap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it looks like we may be, well, not giving, but at least through the NATO, is Zelensky may be getting some Tomahawk cruise missiles. Yeah.
yep, yeah, yeah. Because
And
yeah,
and one of the things that they've done is they've been hitting oil refineries in Russia, which
yeah,
that's going to really hurt the Russians. And if we
yeah.
get Europe to stop buying oil from
Start
them,
buying oil from him. Yeah,
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 hmm,
yeah. We
yep,
gladly sell him some oil.
yep, right. Oil, natural gas. I
Yeah,
mean, Trump, when he made a speech at the UN, he implored them to, drill for oil out in the North Sea like they have
yeah,
been for decades. And they
yeah,
need to turn it around. Their countries are falling apart because they're doing the same shit we did. Open borders, bringing all these immigrants from countries
yeah.
that will not assimilate and don't
Yeah, I
care.
mean that was a thing. Uh, there was I saw something the other day. There was a this one person. He worked for one of the trucking industries, and he called each one of the or he or she called each one of the different uh, semi operators, semi drivers, and
Right.
asked them a couple of certain things, and just say, we're just touching base, we're doing a survey and stuff like this. And at
Hmm.
the end of that, they turned around and called immigration and gave them a
Ah.
list of all the names of the people that couldn't speak English.
Oh, okay.
And they looked them up, and this one company, 145 out of 290 drivers that couldn't
Wow.
speak English or
Oh
didn't have the
my.
basic understanding.
Wow.
So, yeah, and this has been happening because, this is the other problem we've had with this open immigration is, we got companies that are hiring them, and well, hell, look at where is it, Ohio? Where was it, Ohio, where the principal or the superintendent got arrested?
Oh no, that was Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
the superintendent of schools
yeah.
was arrested because he's an illegal alien.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he had charges against him. He was supposed to have been deported already.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Somebody, I think that school board, when the next election comes around, I think every damn one of them is going to be gone,
Yeah.
and
That
they should
that's
be. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to blame it on a third party. Well, somebody didn't do a basic background check. It would have,
Right.
just a basic background check, and they've got the ability to do that now. They
Yep.
just uh,
It's
you
called
know,
E-Verify.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Every
They didn't,
company has.
yeah, not one of them did their job, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that school board, you know, and they're still calling him a doctor. Hell, he doesn't even he's not even a doctor
Right.
because
Yeah.
his degree is forged.
What does he think he is? Jill Biden? A
Yeah,
doctor?
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Uh,
he's supposed to. Oh, and they even went so far as to when they said, "Well, we need to have uh, radical empathy," as Doctor So and So would say in his book. Like, this guy wrote a book, and yet he's not as and they're quoting the guy that has broken more laws than he knows what to do with, and that
right.
they broke by allowing him to do that, and they're quoting his book. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know it just goes to show you stupid cannot be fixed.
That's right. And
There's no cure
uh,
for stupid.
speaking of stupid, looks like Jimmy Kimmel is not doing very well. Looks like a lot of TV stations will not air his programming.
Yeah, there
So,
was a rumor that they were negotiating with the two different distributors,
right.
that are corporations, but
Mm,
one of them came out and went back and said, "Absolutely, we will not be carrying him. Period. He's preempted."
right.
So that kind of that whole freedom of speech thing and all of that crap has just kind of gone by the wayside, and his numbers just keep declining. But this
Right.
is the thing: Disney doesn't care. They're the parent company of ABC.
Right.
They do not care about. They don't even care about their shareholders. The problem
Right.
is a large portion of their shareholders are a bunch of bleeding heart liberals, anyways.
Right.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, but they and until you know, uh, I mean, it's just ridiculous. That they would have him on. I mean, I don't watch him, so it's I don't care. They can put him on if they want because I don't watch that anyways.
Right.
The only thing I ever watch is I watch sometimes the YouTube clips of Jimmy Fallon, and it usually has to do with their musical thing or
Right.
impersonation or stuff. He's funny like that,
Right.
I can watch that, and
Right.
he, for the most part, stays neutral when it comes to politics. He
Right.
doesn't really bring it up on his show.
Right.
Now, I haven't watched any of his monologues in a long time, so I don't know
Right.
where he stands there. But he caught hell when he messed up Donald Trump's hair.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
He sure.
hey, everybody else wants to. At least now, somebody did, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, so yeah, it was. So yeah, let's see.
Oh yeah, Pete Hegseth. Yeah, he got all. That's another good topic. He got all the generals and
Oh
admirals
yeah,
into Quantico
yeah.
and gave a big speech and said, "We're done with DEI and shape up or ship out." So,
When I was in the services back in, I got out in '80. Uh, but when I was in, uh, you had to meet certain criteria, had to meet certain height and weight, you know,
mhm,
and they had a program, and it was called, and we had a bunch of them sergeants that were walking around with the beer bellies, they'd been in Vietnam and they came back now and they were just trying to wind down and they drinking their beer every day, having their beer parties on, drink 6-pack at
mhm,
night after work and all that. And they had some pot. Well, they started a program called Fat Boy.
mhm.
That's what it was called, Fat Boy.
That
And if your weight and your height weren't within the specified ranges of good health, you got
Right.
put on the Fat Boy program, and you had to the end of that program to make your weight. And you had so many weeks or months or you know
Right.
however, but you had to make your weight. And if you didn't, you were out. I had
Mm-hmm.
a cousin who 17 years and three
Mm-hmm.
three tours of Vietnam,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, and a couple in quite a few medals for he was a tunnel rat, but he was
Oh, okay.
he ended up being because he was only 5'3", but he was short and pudgy and yeah, so he was or 5'4", but
Uh-huh.
he just barely he just barely made the
Right.
minimum, and so he became a tunnel rat. But then when he went into the National Guard after he got out, he and like I said, he'd gotten out, got back in, gotten out, got back in, and then finally went into the National Guard and got 17 years in, and they put him on the Fat Boy program, and he just could not make his weight, and that was the end of it. They mustered him out after that. He wasn't allowed to stay, and that was God. That was in the let's see, what was that? The 80s? Yeah, probably the mid 80s when that
Yep.
happened.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it was a program that you had to follow. You had to be in weight. I
Mm-hmm.
can say that I was always I was at the time I was 5'10" and I weighed 129 pounds. So I was actually almost too skinny.
Well, you're about like my dad.
Yeah,
He was always skinny, and he got drafted. Well, did he get drafted? No, he went to radio and radar school in Philadelphia,
right.
and my grandfather told him, "Oh, you need to get into this program, and when you graduate, you'll be a commissioned officer." So he did all that. Did really well in school. Uh, the class that was ahead of him, well, they were the last one to get commissions.
Commissioned officers, yeah. Then after that,
So he was
enlisted.
just a lowly private.
He was just a Sparky.
Yeah, Sparky.
Yep.
And then he got sent off to Fairchild, where they were getting the P-39 Aero Cobras ready to ship to Russia. So he was changing out the radio, and they didn't get any radar, and because we didn't want to give the Ruskies the good stuff,
No, exactly. Yeah,
just rudimentary, communications, and that's it.
yeah.
And my dad would have to test the equipment to make sure it would work. And one day he was sitting in the cockpit, you know, getting ready to test the radio, and he was about ready to press a button on the stick, and one of the officers, no, don't touch that unless you want to put a 30 millimeter through the side of the hangar,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
because that had a cannon going
yeah.
down between the legs of the pilot, because
Right.
the engine was behind the pilot,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
had
That's
a
right. That's
drive
right.
shaft that went between the legs
Yeah,
up to the prop, and it had a I think a 30 millimeter, maybe it was a 20 something millimeter
yeah.
cannon, but it had that, and then in the wings it had the 50 calibers,
Right, right.
and so they'd get those ready. They'd paint the red star on the plane,
Yeah,
and then they'd get them ready for the Ruskies to come down from, Siberia through Alaska and down to Seattle and
right.
pick up these planes and take them back.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well,
So, and then after that, he was sent to San Francisco, where he got on a Liberty ship. And 3 weeks later, he was in Brisbane, Australia. And they were there for a short time. Then they did the island hopping
Right.
along the coast of New Guinea.
Yeah.
And that's how he ended up in that country that I shall not talk
That
about.
place. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that place. And then he went
That
to
place. Yeah.
Japan. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. This thing with the military, all the stuff that he brought up were things that were already in place years ago. It's under
Right.
the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice. You know,
Right.
being gay, that wasn't
Yeah.
acceptable back then.
Right.
Of course,
Hmm.
then they came up with the "Don't Ask, Don't Tell," and then
Yeah.
then and eventually we got guys wearing dresses in the service. It's like,
Right.
that's
Like
just,
Admiral Levine.
yeah, whoever that was,
Yeah.
that person was ugly to begin with, and then
Oh, I
putting her
know.
in a dress is like, well,
Hmm.
I guess he thought maybe a guy would like him because he sure as hell couldn't pick up any girls with that ugly mug. So,
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. And also, he's raised the standards for female uh, recruits,
right?
uh,
There's
where
no,
they had to be on the same plane as the man.
yeah.
So if they're out in the field and someone's wounded, they gotta pick up.
Well, and that's the whole point. And at the time, well, when I was in the service, I was what's called a 462, which was a weapons tech, and that
Mhm.
included weapons loading, weapons release, weapons gun shop, and then it just became weapons tech and weapons loading, and I was in loading. But at that time, women were not allowed to be in that field
Right.
because we were around bombs, and if something should happen and one of them shift, we had to sometimes we had to muscle those things around to keep from somebody getting severely hurt.
Right.
And we had four-man load crews, and now they've got 3-person load crews, and there's a lot of women in that field now.
Right.
I mean, I always thought women as pilots was a
Mm.
great idea because I felt that you know, if we had one squadron of just women, fighter pilots,
Right.
and they all had to stay in the dormitories or the barracks together. Well, their cycle would eventually level out.
Oh, there's
Send
cycle.
all of them out when they're all on
Would that
PMS.
be an Indian or a Harley cycle?
Neither one.
Oh,
Send them
okay.
all out to fight when they're on PMS. That would
Right.
be one
There
big
you go.
fast pilot.
That's what you need flying around in a A10 Warthog. Just a bunch of really pissed off women. So,
Let me
where
tell
are
you,
those little bastards?
some of
Yeah.
the best A10 pilots are women, and
Hmm.
most because they have a different tolerance of pain. They
Right.
they have
Hmm.
uh when they're pissed, they're pissed.
Right.
There's
I think they could handle G forces a little better than
They
men.
can
And
because they got a lower center of gravity. I know that doesn't make there's arguments about that, but uh, it does make a difference. Now, on the other hand, uh, their ability to carry a wounded person
yes,
is a
that's
little
right.
different. So,
Hmm.
but what did I hear it said? I think it was Gutfield said something about, well, with these new regulations, it's going to give a place for you know the female in the military. It's going to give a lot of unemployed lesbians a job now
Ah, there you go. Hmm.
because now they can
Hmm.
join the military, and you know
Yep.
because there's some of them women. There's a few of them I know that's in
Hmm.
the extended family that I wouldn't want to piss off.
Right. Right. Right.
Tougher than I am, but yeah, his good speech, and I mean it's time. We need to get
Mhm.
a military that we can be proud
Yeah.
of, and
Back on track.
Mhm.
do what?
Get our military back on track.
get it back
Yeah.
on track, get
Mhm.
what it's supposed to be doing, and that's a deterrent. I mean,
Breaking things and killing people.
I mean, look at good God, look at General Miley. That is
Mm.
the most unimpressive person. I mean, I look at that. If I were the enemy of of this country, and I look at that, I'm going, oh my God, that's their chief of staff.
Yeah.
That's the chief of the Joint Chiefs.
Right.
Oh my God. Well, let's
Hmm.
just go in and invade them now because we got their asses whipped. You know,
Right. Hmm.
he was more concerned about DEI than he was on how to make the,
Yeah.
you know, how to make the
We don't have a diverse force. We
yes,
need
yeah,
more whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever, yeah. And hey,
Hmm.
to each their own. If that's what you
Hmm.
want, fine. That's
Right.
But there's a time, there's uh and there were those people in the military, but they kept their heads down and they did their job, and you didn't worry about them.
Right. Hmm.
But there were a couple guys in my boot camp. They got their butts sent home for violation of UCMJ because they they got busted in the shower together.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, and they were gone. They were
They
gone
were
the
on
next day.
maneuvers with each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
they were, and their butts were
Hmm.
gone the next day. I mean, without a
Yeah.
doubt.
Hmm.
And uh,
They were looking for landmines, so to speak.
and the I remember that the drill sergeant came in. He says, or the TI training instructor instead of
Yeah.
DI. Uh, but the TI comes in. He says, and if there's anybody else that's of that persuasion, come to my office tonight and talk to me about it, and we'll get you out of here as soon as possible. And we had one guy go knock on his door, and he was gone the next day. But he got a good discharge because he just got a medical discharge, whereas the other two they got a dishonorable discharge because of the
Right.
fact that they were booted out for under the UCMJ. You know,
Right.
and
Hmm.
those were the standards. We had certain standards. Now, mind you, uh, the thing about the beards, I don't know if I think that's a little silly, but because although in my days you couldn't have a beard, you could have a mustache, but you couldn't have a beard,
Right.
and unless you were shipboard on in the Navy and you had so many months after you came out of the Navy, and I don't know if Joe is on here or not, Captain Joe. I don't know if he's on here or not, but
I didn't see him in
yeah,
there.
I don't see him either. But yeah, we
Yeah.
had uh, back then they had so many months after they got off shipboard to shave that beard off, unless
Right.
they were going right back out for for another 6 month tour.
Right.
But
Hmm.
you had to be shipboard in order to. And this was about as long as it could get right here. This would be
Right.
classified as more or less a Navy beard,
Right.
you know.
Hmm.
So I mean,
Mm.
I don't have a problem with the military looking like the military, you know. Uh,
Yep.
and I know back in the day they were in my days, this is the 70s, and everybody was growing their hair long, and or they were raising hell about it because hell, the Swiss they could grow their hair and put it in a ponytail and all that. And
Hmm.
we tried using that argument. They said, well, if you want to do that, just pack your ass up and move to Switzerland because you're not going to do it here.
Hmm.
So we had other
That's
ways, like
yeah. Hmm.
wearing a stocking cap and pulling your hair up and sticking it up here, making sure it was shaved on the side like this here, but
Right.
then growing it really long so it'd come down. So when you got off, and I knew a guy had his hair down to his waist, and I had no idea he had long hair until I ran into him in a bar one night. I said, when the hell did you get? He was actually the guy that delivered our ammo to us every night. I said,
Wow.
when the hell did you get out of the service? I said, to grow your hair that long, you have to be. Wait a minute, you're not. I just saw you a couple of weeks ago. He said, oh yeah, yeah, I'm still in. I said, how am I? He says, oh, I just swirl it up around my head and pull a stocking
Yeah.
cap over it. And I said, oh shit, you do always wear a stocking cap year round. So it's like
Hmm.
he worked a night shift, and that was the problem. The
Okay.
night shift guy, us night shift guy, I had an afro,
Yeah.
I finally got. They had an inspection one morning, and that's when I was. And actually, just before I got out, my hair was pretty long, and my my squadron commander took me aside and he says, "Listen, Mindy," he says, "I'll pay for your haircut and give you $10 if you go get it cut to military standards." I said, "All right, well, we'll see." Next day I come in and he saw me. I saluted him when I came in, and he saluted back, and he says, "I want to see your stocking cap," because he could see that I'd got it trimmed. And I pull it off, and I had it high and tight. I got it's like 1 inch, about maybe no more than a quarter inch on top, and it was shaved on the sides. He says, "Holy crap!" He says, "I don't believe you did that." I said, "Well, the haircut cost me $5. It cost me $2.50, and you owe me $12.50 because I did what you asked me to do." And he reached his wallet, pulls out. He says, "Here's $15. Keep the change." And I was one of those night shift guys, so I got by with that a lot. But it got to a
Right.
point where they got tired of it. And
Mm.
of course, mind you, this was under Jimmy Carter, so
That's-
things were pretty shitty in the military then. Anyways, I got to the point where we kind of cared less, and but we still had certain standards that we had to follow.
mhm.
Yes, exactly. And that's one of the things I've said it to my boys and my grandkids too. One of the things that stuck with me from boot camp, and that's been a lot of years ago, let me tell you, a lot of
Yeah.
years since I was in
Mhm.
boot camp. But uh, I remember the drill instructor, he was coming in, we all had to have our heads shaved. Well, that mean we were all bald headed green men because we wore green fatigues, slick sleeves, no uh, rank at all. And it was to make us a congealed unit. We were a unit of people because we all looked alike. I mean, we had guys with hair down to here, and you know, and what every damn one of us. This is Texas in the summertime, and we all ended up with blisters of sunburns on our ears. And oh my god, it was terrible because long hair was in style back then.
Oh yeah.
And so, anyways, I remember him telling me, he says, "You guys probably wondering why we have inspections, and you have to fold your underwear and your socks a certain way in your foot lockers." I was in the old World War II barracks, as the last of the old, Quonset huts, or no,
Yeah.
two-story wood buildings. There were two-story wood buildings, open bays. Some of the guys lived in the modern barracks, which are uh, like dormitory rooms.
Yeah.
But I was in one of the last squadrons that had still use those old wood barracks. But he told us, he says, "Just remember this. If you remember nothing else, imposed discipline brings self discipline." And he's
Mhm.
right. I
Mhm.
still when I get dressed, I still check my gig line. In other words, make sure my buttons are straight, my
Yeah.
zipper is in line, the whole thing.
Mhm.
There's still a lot of things that I do that are
Mhm.
that were instilled in me in boot camp, and I still, that's the one saying I remember, and that's what this like Brian says, it's about discipline, you
Right.
know, and
Mhm.
that's what they're trying to prove, because that's everybody learns to do the same thing or dress the same way within the same standards.
Mhm.
Nobody's more special than anybody else. You know,
Mhm.
generals, they still put their pants on the same way I do. And most of them still tie their own shoes unless they're too fat now and they can't reach them. They have an aide tie up their combat boots, but you
Yeah.
know, uh, I got
Mhm.
to admit, I was looking at one of the videos about that whole thing, and and of course, the camera was from an angle. It was all watching. It was all the Marine generals. Don't lie, your barracks were caves. Yes, that's right, Lon. They were. Yeah, we just had a bearskin hang over the front to
Mm.
keep the wind
Yeah.
off. You know,
Yeah.
and actually, it wasn't a bearskin; it was a saber-toothed tiger skin. But
Saber-tooth tiger.
yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
but
Mhm.
Yeah,
and
screw you.
they flew around on pterodactyls.
Well, that's right. That's right. It's because I was in the Air Force and pterodactyls were,
Yeah,
a lot like what they do on the Flintstones. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
meet the Flintstones.
Yeah. I knew you were going to start singing that. Yeah. But what I saw was because he was talking about these generals are going to have to be in shape and pass. He says, which I know
Right.
most of you do. Well, the camera that was sitting out there overlooking all these generals, well, it was on the side where all the Marines were sitting together, and those generals, there was every one of them. I'm thinking those guys, they can do their push-ups, they can do their sit-ups, they can, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they're generally, there was maybe one, and he was a little older general. He was a 4-star. He might be a little out of shape, but even that, they still, because a Marine uniform fits, especially an officer's uniform. It's a very slim, sharp looking, and yeah,
Right.
these all these Marines, they look pretty good now. So that was a good shot because I'm thinking, well, at least I know those 25 or 30 generals sitting there, they're all going to pass. Now I didn't see what the Air Force or the Army or the Navy admirals looked like, but
Mm-hmm.
chances are the admirals,
Mm-hmm.
that might be a different story. Same with
Right.
Air Force, yeah. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because most of the Air Force, instead of being airborne rangers, they're chairborne rangers. I love that term. I love that term. Chairborne rangers. So, anyways,
So, how long do you think this shutdown will last? A week? 2 weeks?
um, I can see it probably not going any more than 2 weeks
Yeah.
because they've
Mm-hmm.
already had some starting to defect. So, uh,
Right.
uh, if they were smart, somebody would kick Schumer out of that spot and put Fetterman in his spot because I think
Right.
Fetterman would do a far better job of representing the people
Right.
and his party.
Well, the problem is then he wouldn't be towing the line for the hard left, and they're
Well,
still
and
the ones that are
and
in.
that's the problem.
Yep.
They've got to get rid of the hard left, just like we had to get rid of the rhinos.
The rhinos and the never Trumpers. Yep.
Never Trumpers, which I classify as all the same because I heard it brought up. It was the Tea Party movement, and that moved into the I forgot
MAGA
what.
movement.
No, it was before that. There was one before that. Tea
Oh.
Party morphed into and I heard it today, and
Hmm.
but it was, and eventually we became the MAGA movement, and that's because we got
Hmm.
rid of the rhinos and we got rid of
Right.
uh, the never Trumpers, which
Right.
pretty much the same thing. They were all,
Right. I mean, look at Romney. He's not running again, so
no,
he's
no,
done after this term. So
yeah,
he's got
yeah.
a
Is
few
he still
more
in office?
years left.
Is he
Yes,
still in
he's.
office?
Yep. I think
Okay,
he'll be done in 2028. I think. Yeah.
okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, we got rid of Cheney. She got primaried out, which is good. And yeah, and
They have
Trump
to have
has
60. They a simple majority doesn't work. They have to have 60 votes
uh,
for the CR. Yeah.
mhm.
Lon, I was answering Lon's question.
Okay.
Yeah, and they don't have the votes right now. They're 5 votes short as of the last count. So,
Right. Hmm.
so
Okay. Yeah, so what Trump has done is he's done a lot in it's not even been a year yet. And he's done more than any other president, Democrat or Republican, in their whole 8 years.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
done a lot, and he really took a lot what he learned from his first term, and he really built on that. And he's changed the Republican Party because it used to be the Republican Party was all the rich and the rich and the executives,
Yeah, yeah.
ran it. Now they become what the Democrat Party used to be, party of the people.
Right, with a big difference in the fact that the Republican Party is still the party that helped give free in slavery. It's the party that was even with our switch. We're still not the party that ran the KKK,
Right.
and that was the Democrats.
Hmm.
Uh, it was the Republican that were abolitionists. So we
Abolitionists.
that's what I said.
Yeah.
Abolitionists, whatever. Potatoes, potatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. Whatever. Anyways, uh, yeah. So we're not. It's not been a complete party switch. We've kept our conservative values that we've had over the years, and but yet we become a little closer to what everybody is. I think the average American living out here in the middle of
Hmm.
in the middle of the country, flyover areas, you know, we get up, we go to work, we pay our taxes, we try to own property, we try to get married and have some kids, or if that doesn't work, we try to do something to at least be kind and try to. Uh, so it's like with me. I'm probably uh, spiritually or religiously, I'm probably more conservative. Socially, I'm probably a little closer to center. Financially, I'm conservative, and when it comes to big government, I'm conservative. But
Hmm.
I still understand that there's certain things that you know society. All right, we have to be kind to people.
Right.
And uh, this crap that's going on with Antifa. Uh,
Right.
yeah, so
Hmm.
uh, it's definitely the Democrats are not helping themselves at all.
Right.
You know,
Well, their deal is they hate this country. They want to change it. They keep saying democracy. To them, democracy is one vote, one time, and that's it. You know,
yeah,
and they hate the Constitution.
yes,
They don't like the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, and what's the one that's about property rights? Uh, the 10th Amendment, anyway. But because the Constitution
I think
blocks,
that's like I think that's like the seventh commandment: "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's property." Isn't that what? Yeah,
right, that's right. So,
yeah. Well, oh,
so
amendments. Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
mhm. Amendments, commandments, yeah.
yeah. Potatoes, potatoes, tomatoes,
Goldberg,
tomatoes. Yeah,
iceberg, yeah, whatever.
aluminum, aluminium.
Yeah. Hmm. So, and yeah, so they're not the same Democrat Party that we knew when we were kids. I
No,
mean, because back then Democrats actually loved this country, and they were anti-communist.
yeah, they were. They were
Mhm.
definitely anti-communist. You know,
Mhm.
but it's like it was Lyndon Johnson. And well, had Kennedy lived, we wouldn't have been in Vietnam.
Right,
But I'll never forget everybody who'd heard Kennedy speak at his inaugural. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
right.
You know,
Mhm.
that was his. That was and he also wanted us to do something as a nation to make a mark in the world.
Right.
That's the space race. That's what that was all
Mhm.
about. You know,
Mhm.
is we're going to land on the moon. Why?
Yep.
Because it's there. And plus, the innovations that will come out of that will help
That's right.
all of humankind,
Mhm.
And I mean, you look at what they did with their limited abilities to put a
Mhm.
man on the moon. Hell, we're having troubles doing that now.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
And we are so much further advanced than what they were. It's like,
Right.
but the problem is they're trying to reinvent the world, the wheel.
The
You
wheel.
know, yeah, the wheel. Huh? They're trying to reinvent the world too, but that's the
Mhm,
Democrats.
mhm.
Yeah, the Democrats. I think 2 weeks will probably be that because, uh, and I think Schumer will be gone come the
Right.
next election. I think,
Right.
and unfortunately, I'm afraid AOC will win the primary, just like
Right.
uh, New
Now,
York City.
What will happen though? Because she'll have to evacuate her seat to take Schumer's seat.
Yeah,
Well, here's what'll happen: is if she's elected, she will give up that seat. But if she loses in the primary, she'll still have her seat.
yeah.
She's going to be running for, I don't know how that's going to work. If she's going to run for House and Senate at the same time, that,
Yeah, and that's something that needs to be friggin' fixed. You
yeah,
shouldn't be able to run for one office, and if you lose, okay, well, I still can win in this office. No,
right,
if you run for a position, you run for a position. You take the chance. That's what's
right.
wrong with our politics too.
Mhm.
That's why we've got these people that have been there for 40 and 50 and 60 years. Because they don't have to. There's nothing to lose.
Right.
You
Mhm.
know.
Well, speaking of nothing to lose, we've done a little over an hour. I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming. Please share this station with your friends. Let's try to grow this channel. It's been growing a little lately. And so, everybody have a great week. Don't forget my drone channel tomorrow night, Artco Drones and Entertainment, which is on an hour earlier. And I don't have to work Saturday, so I could go a little longer. And we got Bill's show on Saturday and Lloyd's show on Monday. Take
Yeah.
care, everybody. God bless, and see you later. Good
Good
night.
night,
Night, folks.
everybody.